Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, if a Nigerian says OYO to you, he is not necessarily referring to the space that the Alaafin has dominion over. He is not necessarily referring to Oyo, the Oyo Empire or Oyo State. When a Nigerian says OYO to you, is actually referencing an acronym that means on your own. So OYO, on your own. As guys, I bring you this Lekki Tollgate shooting. US says security forces shot in the air. No information on fatalities. So a clean bill of health, free pass, effectively is what the Americans are signing off to the Buhari regime. This is of course contrary to all of the information and all of the evidence that we have in situation, including eyewitnesses, including families of victims, including on the spot streaming, including international organizations. So all of the weight is to say that the fatalities are there. And we also saw, even in a BBC documentary, those shots being fired. But alas, the US will have it differently. So, of course, you have to assume and presume and have the educated guess that shady deals in the dark shadows have been done to facilitate for this. So somebody's palms has been greased within the American circles. Contracts have been agreed and signed, and dollars in heavyweights have been allocated towards this particular pronouncement that we're now hearing from the Americans. And let me not hear any naysaying here. The most corrupt regime is the United States one, and bribery is just a commonplace within the lobby space of the US governance. So this is something that goes on. They even have lobby groups that have offices surrounding effectively the whole of the Washington space that access the governance, and you pay for that service, by the way. So their profession is effectively lobby groups. So they have access to pretty much parliamentarians and the executive. They have them on their books, and you, the foreigner, then that you're looking for whatever it is you're looking for from the Americans, you go via those lobby groups to access the American government. So the palms have been greased, and of course with heavy duty dollars as well. As again, Lekki Tollgate shooting, US says security forces shot in the air. No information on fatality. So now let's now see now how logic is being turned on its head by the Americans. The US government has said that the Nigerian security forces fired shots into the air to disperse #EndSARS protesters at Lekki Tollgate in Lagos on October the 20th, 2020. This contradicts allegations from media reports that some eyewitnesses saw soldiers firing live ammunition at the peaceful protesters. This disclosure is contained in the 2020 country report on human rights practices in Nigeria, released by the U.S. Department of State on Tuesday, March the 30th, 2021. The report pointed out that there was no accurate information on the numbers of fatality from the shootings, contrary to Amnesty International's report that 10 people died during the incident as a result of gunshot wounds. What the report on human rights practices in Nigeria is saying, the report partly reads, on October the 20th, members of the security forces enforced curfews by firing shots into the air to disperse protesters who had gathered at the Lekki Tollgate in Lagos to protest abusive practices by the Nigerian Police Force Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. Accurate information on fatalities resulting from the shooting was not available at the year's end. Amnesty International reported 10 persons died during the event, but the government disputed Amnesty's report, and no other organization was able to verify the claim. The government reported about 2 deaths connected to the event. One body from the toll gate showed signs of blunt force trauma. A second body from another location in Lagos State had bullet wounds. The government acknowledged that soldiers armed with live ammunition were present at the Lekki Tollgate. It can be recalled that in the aftermath of the alleged shooting of #EndSARS protesters at Lekki Tollgate, US-based media outfit cable news network CNN, in its investigative report, aired a video allegedly showing Nigerian soldiers shooting at unarmed protesters at the toll gate based on video evidence from mobile phones and witnesses. The federal government, in its response, insisted that the military did not shoot at the #EndSARS protesters, describing the alleged mass killing as a massacre without bodies. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari, whilst expressing his disgust at the coverage of the incident by foreign media organizations like CNN and BBC, said their reports on the #EndSARS protest was not balanced. So not balanced is what the Buhari regime said. It didn't really happen is what the American Department of State is saying. But then, of course, if you go and speak to DJ Swift, then she will tell you exactly the contrary story. So where do you weigh the balance is the question. The Amnesty International is telling us that about 10 bodies 10 bodies are counted to that incident. So 10 individuals lost their lives as a result of that incident is what the Amnesty International organization is saying. And of course, the CNN did a documentary as well showing recordings that people did on their cell phones showing the Nigerian army shooting at the protesters. So the protesters were shot at and dispersed, and the bodies, of course, were swept up, is the narrative that we're hearing from the eyewitnesses. And then to buttress this, the panel that was set up by the Lagos State government to look into this matter, when they got to the army headquarters in Ikoyi or Victoria Land, wherever it is, I think it's Victoria Land, when they got to the army premises and they requested to see their mortuary, they had brought their own autopsy expert, etc. They could not get past the gates of the army base at Victoria Island. We have video clips of this, so this is not even them say. The army chieftain in charge of that space, he came out with some of his men and told this esteemed panel that were there with cameras that you better leave this place before we dirty you. Do you understand what that means? When a Nigerian soldier tells you that leave this place before I dirty you, it's even giving you compliment because they don't usually extend that. And there were cameras there, so he didn't even care for the cameras. But he was saying to them that categorically, heavens will fall before you are able to come into our mortuary to examine what is in there. So you have a state-composed panel set up to investigate this matter. Their investigations has led them to the army mortuary, and the army now are overriding the authority of the state, told the panel categorically that get out of here. So the Americans are telling us nothing happened, but all of the evidence, of course, is pointing in the direction that something did happen. So between nothing happened and something did happen is a whole heap of dollars in the shadows. So greasy palms, money changing hands, dodgy contracts, promissory notes for the future, etc. This is what has led to this pronouncement now, because of course you don't get more corrupt than the American system, and of course the only person that can match them is the Nigerian system. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. The Americans have given Mallam Buhari a clean bill of health, so he gets away with murder Literally, this is the situation that we are finding ourselves in. What are you making of it? But before you come into the comment section to engage, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, the Americans are telling us nothing happened, but everybody else saw exactly what happened. So come discuss now this double dutch with me in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on within the comment section, but here I say peace.